What is going on, Panther Lair? We are back talking about the Pittsburgh Panthers victory over the Eastern Kentucky Colonels this past Wednesday. Now, I'm not here to break down the obvious low-hanging fruit, and that is the 30-point outing from Brandon Cummings. Not only was that a career high, he set his career high actually in the first half, but not only was that a career high for him overall in a game, but also the most points scored by a freshman in the ACC to this point. So monster outing from him. That said, I have an early impressions article coming for him sometime later on in the month, so I'm saving a lot of that for then. But what I do want to talk about is something that's not necessarily captured in just highlights, and that is the offensive growth that we're seeing from Zack Austin pretty much throughout the game. He is just getting better and better and better. We're going to look at 4 possessions here, talk about why they're important, and I'm really excited to dive into this because it's been something that's been quite cool to actually watch develop. So you're going to see this is early in the game. This is Pitt's first possession. They were pretty stale offensively early. If you watch this game, you know it took them forever to score points. And it's largely because if they ran a lot of this 5 out, 4 out, 1 in type of set where like Cam Corum would get this in kind of like a delay, and then he would choose a side to run a DHO on. And Pitt just didn't really get a lot going out of this. I felt they were kind of going through the motions a little bit if like the initial action didn't yield anything good. Anyways, what they ended up with a lot of was kind of being iced on either side, using that directional force, using this baseline as an extra defender. That's what Eastern Kentucky was doing. This time, though, Ish Leggett does a really good job splitting. This pass that he's going to make out here to Austin's not going to be a perfect pass, but it's going to be, good enough that Austin's going to be able to get this 3 up. Now, if you've been watching or, following me at all, you know that I think Austin is an improved 3-point shooter, but not from certain points of the floor. And the left side of the floor, he's still been pretty cold. I think he's made maybe 1 or 2 threes from the left wing above the break area. He's made 1 from like the left corner. So not really good in this particular area, but I digress here. He's going to miss this 3. But the couple possessions later, we're going to see a situation where he now receives the ball again around the same area. Now, his defender here not sucked in as much, so he's going to have the opportunity to close out and try to get inside the jersey of Austin here on the catch. But what Austin's going to do is he's going to put the ball on the floor going to his left. So showed a lot of poise there, not panicking, gets 2 feet in the paint, and he misses this kind of floating jumper in the paint. But why that shot is important is because you no longer can just play Austin to only shoot. When he is doing that confidently, now you have to respect the fact that he may shoot the ball or he may put the ball on the floor, and we haven't really seen that from him on a consistent basis in the past. So really good job here expanding his game, because now you're going to have to devote a little bit more real estate to what he could potentially do with the ball in his hands, as opposed to loading up on Jalen Lowe or loading up on Ish Leggett, because without Damian Dunn, there's just very few offensive threats that can create their own shot besides those 2 that are on the floor at any one time. I think Brandon Cummings is obviously entering that mix as well, but Austin doing this because he's in the starting lineup, it's a really important development for him and for the team. And you can see, like I said, he kind of develops this within the game. So this is in the second half. Now notice where he is on the floor here, though. So defense comes in to commit, loaded up to try to contain any type of penetration here from Lowe, who's just fantastic in this game, in my opinion. And this closeout isn't too hard, right? Like, so, Austin, he drove earlier on. They saw that. He cut baseline in the first half and had that really nice reverse dunk. So you can't really play him just to shoot this 3. But if you close out too soft, he's going to hit it, especially from the right side, especially from above the break. Really hot from there. So this is the next possession. Defense gets sucked in, trying to contain low dribble penetration. I mean, this is the responsibility of the weak side slot defender, so this makes sense. But the closeout here, much more urgent. And Austin, again, attacks it going left. Shows a lot of good poise. Puts the ball left, navigates this defender, which is important because this is kind of the thing that a lot of the players that are almost able to put the ball on the floor, like, this is a big difference. Like, the guys that can navigate this defender versus the guys that have to, like, pick up their dribble, that's the difference between being a slasher and just being a guy who can take one dribble. Austin gets all the way to the basket, and we know he is an athlete. So really awesome job by Austin in this game. And as we're seeing game to game, becoming a player that you can't just defend in any one way. And because he's now able to put the ball on the floor, that means teams, you can't just do certain things to him. You can't just stash a player you're trying to hide on him. You can't put a smaller player on him, of course. You can't just devote more real estate to bending your defense towards lower Leggett, because this guy, either whether coming out of the strong side corner or whether he's attacking from above the break on like drives and slashes, he can now do a little bit of damage, putting up a season high 18 points in this game. So I expect to keep seeing this from Austin. I thought it was definitely worth detailing out. Hope you guys enjoyed it.